Hey you guys, it's Kessa. I just wanted to take a little time and share with you something that I found very awesome. I started my journey in November of 2011. Just really, I didn't even know what I was getting myself into. I had always, walked and ran, but I was never really big into doing a lot of weightlifting or sticking to a program. At that time, I thought I ate really healthy, but I realized pretty quickly once I started following a meal plan that I wasn't eating near as healthy as I should have. So in November of 2011, I decided to take the plunge and try something different. I had about 7 pounds to lose. I knew I wanted to tone up. I always wore about a size 4 and I was okay with it, but what happened with those size 4s is I probably should have been wearing a 6 because I had the thankful muffin top that everyone just loves to have, don't we ladies? It's terrible when you have never really been overweight. People don't expect to see, the muffin top or me thinking that I had like self-esteem issues or body issues, but I did. I mean, I really, really did. I've always weighed around 125-ish, but I never had muscle. I never had stamina or endurance. So again, I decided to take the plunge with Chalene Extreme and add Shakeology to my daily habits, and I loved it, you guys. It changed my life. I don't know if you've ever done Chalene Extreme or know who Chalene Johnson is, but she has so much motivation and such an inspiration that it was easy to jump into a challenge group and push play every day. I'd never been part of anything like that. I never really had the accountability. I would have a girlfriend that we would jog with and come inside and do a little, workout video here, but it wasn't consistent, and we would do it for a couple weeks or a month, and then we fall off track and, get back on track. So when I started a challenge group, I did not know what to expect, and I quickly learned how much you need accountability. When you don't plug in daily, you start seeing it's easy to mess up and, forget about what you're doing and why you're in that group. What I noticed is people thrived off of a meal plan. People didn't know what healthy food was. I didn't know what healthy food was. So people really, really thrived off of looking at a meal plan and understanding eating every 2 to 3 hours. A lot of people in my groups have been like me where they didn't eat enough. They were eating maybe breakfast and then dinner time. Or they were not eating breakfast like me and waiting until 1 o'clock to eat lunch, and then you're pigging out like crazy because you're starving, and the next thing you do is you're going to eat dinner. And guess what? I was pigging out like crazy because I was starving. So when I started adding Shakeology in, it was perfect for me for breakfast because I never ever ate breakfast. Even when I was a little girl, nutrition just was not part of our family. I don't think my parents knew what nutrition was. I don't think it was just my family. I think it was just that day and age that it wasn't important. It was okay to go eat fast food and have Hamburger Helper all the time and ramen noodles, and that stuff's good in moderation, but I've learned it doesn't fuel your body the way it needs to fuel your body. That's why, again, I love these challenge groups because every time I keep going further and further with them, I'm learning so much more. So when I started out, I didn't eat breakfast. Shakeology replaced that. I was eating boxed, lean cuisines. I thought that was a healthy choice, so I was eating lean cuisines and smart ones, and I soon realized I needed more fuel. I started learning that it wasn't feeding my body because I was hungry, but fueling my body because I've spent the calories as I was working out on Chalene Extreme. So after 90 days with Chalene, and I was also at that point training for my first half marathon, I got amazing results, you guys. I had never felt comfortable in my skin. I remember calling my mentor up. It was in April, and I wasn't staring at other girls at the beach like I always did. I was probably looking at them saying, dang, I look better than them. I've never ever felt that way. I always thought my body was fat and I had rolls and it was disgusting. My butt was too big and my boobs were too small, and I had a terrible self-image. I was never the pretty girl. I was never the smart girl. And And I've learned that, God, that was so terrible for me to waste so much time on staring and judging myself against other people. And I wasn't just looking and being happy with what I had and what I had to work with. And that's what was important. So I nailed out that half marathon, and I finished Chalene Extreme, and I was down 7 pounds. I was down to 118, and I think my body fat was like 18% body fat. I started about 22, and my thighs were down inches, and all around my body I was down so many inches that I was hooked. I knew that I needed to do another challenge group, because I knew without that accountability I would not have gotten the results that I had. And in those challenge groups, we're learning new recipe ideas, we're sharing with each other and motivating each other, where if I was just at home doing it, it would just be me keeping myself accountable. So I jumped back into another challenge group, and I did another round of Chalene because I was addicted. And I tried to do Insanity, and every time I try to do Insanity, I mess up my shoulder. So I decided, forget it, I'm going to put that to the side. I'm not going to stress myself out about it. I went back to Chalene, and I loved it. I will say that I did not get as good of results because my nutrition was not on point like it was. Plus, I wasn't running as much, so I'm assuming that probably had something to do with it. After Chalene, I have worked through Rev Abs, Combat, just finished T25, I did the Ultimate Reset, and I'm starting on Body Beast right now. So after almost 2 years of working through these programs and keeping myself committed in challenge groups, I have transformed my life. It's not just about the number on the scale, because my number on the scale right now is probably still at 125, but my muscle is so much bigger. And I've learned how to fuel my body properly and eat every 2 to 3 hours and admit my struggles, share with the challengers that I'm having a hard time. Or, hey, like this Friday, I drank too much and I felt like crap all day Saturday, and it was so not worth it. I'm mad at myself. However, picked up today, went outside, pushed play on Beast, finished week 1, and I feel great. I'm keeping a log of my food journals. I'm deciding to really follow the nutrition plan in Body Beast. It's something that I have not done. I just haven't felt up to that level yet. I think those meal plans, if you're somebody that didn't know much about healthy eating, it's going to be a tough transition to get into that meal plan. At least that's how I feel. And I eat good, and I know what to eat. I think what happens is I overeat, or I don't eat enough protein in the middle of the day, that now at nighttime I'm starving and I need more protein. And, I also think it's the will to just say, no, I'm not going to eat. I'm not going to come to that stupid peanut butter. And I try to just keep the stuff that I know I can't handle without binge eating on it or gorging myself, that I just don't buy it. So if you're ready to do something different and take charge of your life, take baby steps, because that's what I've been doing for almost 2 years. They're baby steps. I'm right here, ready to hold your hand, ready to walk through it with you. We'll start off slow. We will start off on a 10-day challenge and get you trying Shakeology and seeing how great you feel after 10 days. And if you're still ready to go and you're ready to commit to 60 days, I'm right there for you. I will be right next to you the whole entire way. The challenge groups, again, are motivating. They have great accountability, but you also get one-on-one time with me. Okay? It is an awesome feeling to pull on those pair of pants that you've been dying to wear, and they fit. It's even better feeling when you start having to move a belt buckle. I love when I get those messages from challengers that they have to move down a belt buckle, or they've went from a large to a small, or they've lost 20 pounds and they've lost this many inches, and they've never had so much energy, and they can run around and play with their children, and they're eating healthy, and they're learning new recipes, and actually feeling like a chef and not just a cook, and they're experimenting, and people are starting to notice their changes, and it's becoming infectious and contagious, and people around them want to know what they're doing. And nothing feels better than to help somebody else on their journey. So I'm ready for you. Are you ready for me?